Welcome back to another session of StoryChief's SEO Fundamentals for Writers training course. I'm your SEO and content marketing coach, Liam Carnahan from inkwellcontent.com. At this point in your training, you've learned exactly what to look for and how to find keywords to target with your content, and you now know exactly how to structure a piece of content for maximum SEO impact. Now we're going to bring all of that together and talk about when, where, and how to integrate those keywords into your content. Ready? Let's get started. First, let's lay down a few ground rules about integrating keywords into your copy. Ground rule number 1, avoid keyword stuffing at all costs. In the ancient days of content marketing, it was common practice to fit as many keywords as possible onto a single web page. This led to a lot of really spammy, poorly written content, and since Google's goal is to promote really well-written, educational, informative content, it now monitors for keyword stuffing and will actually penalize you if you put too many keywords into a single content piece. There's no hard and fast rule about how many keywords go on a specific piece of content. It really depends on how naturally you can fit them into your content without sacrificing the quality of your writing. But a good general rule of practice is to aim for one keyword every 300 words or so. More on that and the general length of content for SEO later in this video. Any given page on your website should have one focus keyword or key phrase that you're targeting. This should be the keyword that is most relevant to that specific page. For example, on my website, I have a service page that's all about the content strategy services that I offer at my company. And I want that page to rank for the keyword content strategy. I wouldn't want to have that keyword content strategy be the focus keyword for any other page on my website because this would lead to what's known as keyword cannibalization. When you target the same keyword across multiple pages, you cannibalize the power of that keyword in terms of SEO. Google gets a little confused about which page you want to rank for that keyword, and so you end up diluting your SEO power overall. You can target additional keywords on a single page as long as those keywords are closely related to the focus keyword you've chosen. This is often called keyword clustering. For example, I might want my content strategy page to also rank for the keywords custom content strategy or content strategy pricing, because those keywords are pretty closely related. I wouldn't want to target the keyword SEO content on that same page because that topic is different enough that I would want to create a brand new page for that one. Ground rule number 3. You can use keywords from one page on other pages on your site, but you should link back to the page you want to rank for that keyword when you can. For example, if I mention content strategy in a blog or somewhere else on my website, I'll make sure I link back to the content strategy page with those words content strategy. This is kind of like saying to Google, hey, I know I'm using this keyword here, but really this is the page I want you to rank for, the one I've linked to. This practice is known as internal linking, and it's really good for SEO in general because it helps search algorithms understand how your site is structured and the relationship of your content. By the way, StoryChief can help you with all of these ground rules. Whenever you're working in StoryChief, make sure you enter the key phrases you're targeting into the SEO checker. When you do, you'll get a score that covers things like keyword distribution throughout the content and lets you know if you're using enough internal links as well. The StoryChief SEO checker also helps you figure out if you've put your keywords in the right places. But if you're new to SEO, it may be hard to know exactly where that is. So let's go over the most important places to put your focus keywords throughout your content. The first place your keywords should always go is your page title, which is actually something you designate in the back end of your article when you're uploading it into something like WordPress. If you're using StoryChief to create and upload your content, you can set the page title in the summary section of your story under the SEO title. Keep in mind that the length of your SEO title matters because it's what shows up in this space when your content appears in Google search. If it's too long, it'll get truncated like this, and that's not great for SEO. Fortunately, StoryChief's SEO checker will let you know if it's too long, or you can use this tool from the company Moz, a bunch of SEO pros over there, just to make sure that it's not going to be too long and get cut off. In addition to the page title, it's a good idea to mention the keyword in the headline of the page you're working on, and again in the first paragraph of text that appears on the page. Remember in the last video we talked about how important it is to break up your content using subheaders? Well, subheaders are also an important place to feature your keywords. I like to think of subheaders like setting out little red flags for Google saying, hey, this text is really important. Google's algorithm pays close attention to subheaders, which is why they're so important and why it's a good idea to put your keywords in there when you can. In fact, if you're targeting multiple related keywords in an article or a landing page, you can sometimes use the keywords to guide the structure of your content. Using that content strategy example again, I would definitely put content strategy in my page title and the headline of the page and the first paragraph. But later on, I might have a subheader above my pricing table that would contain the keyword content strategy pricing. When writing subheaders, it's important to do more than just put the text in bold and increase the font size. You need to actually tag it as a header, which is really quite simple to do. In StoryChief, all you need to do is highlight the text and tag it as an H2. You can do the same thing in a Word document or Google Docs. You can also put subheaders within your subheaders and tag them as an H3, as I've done here. Think of these H tags kind of like those Russian stacking dolls. H2s are the biggest and most important. H3s go inside those and they're a little smaller and a little less important, and H4s go on in there, and you get the idea. Finally, it's a good idea to fit your keyword into the slug of your URL. Slug is the term we use in SEO to refer to the final part of a URL, or like a web address. Here you can see in my article where I'm targeting the keyword, what does SEO stand for? I've actually just made the slug of this URL the keyword exactly. Once again, StoryChief makes it really easy to update the slug in the summary section of your story under the SEO settings. Let's review what we've learned about integrating keywords into our content in this video. First, we never want to stuff too many keywords into an article. We should have one focus keyword per page, and we can include closely related keywords on that page as well. When we use the target keyword on a different page on our website, we should link back to the page we want to rank when possible. Where do we want our keywords to show up within our content? In the page title, in the headline and opening paragraph of the page, in our subheaders, and in the slug portion of the URL. Now it's time to put all of that into practice. For your homework after this video, try integrating some of your keywords into one of your stories on StoryChief. Put them all in the right places and see if you can get lots of green marks from the SEO checker. When you're done with that, come back here and we'll learn a few more little things you can do to make your content perform even better for SEO.